Welcome back, people of everywhere. Thank you for joining me once again. I dyed my hair and shaved because I'm a fan of doing things that I know I shouldn't do. See, it's red. I'm a ginger now. But even with that, I love my hair. I've made a lot of jokes in the past about my bad hairline, and especially when I went through that long hair phase, but I really do like my hair. I hope nothing happens to it in the near future. But anyway, back on topic, today we are going to talk about the new horror film, The Invisible Man. The Invisible Man is about a woman who escapes her abusive boyfriend and then finds out that he kills himself. But she starts to wonder if he's actually found a way to make himself invisible only to torment her after everyone thinks he is gone. I was initially pretty skeptical about this movie, especially after the shit show that happened after they tried the whole dark universe thing. And then in the midst of all that, it was said that Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Dark Universe's Invisible Man. But then, once all that happened, I really wasn't sure if this was going to be a part of that. But it's not. It's its own standalone thing. So, thank God for that. Because if it was a part of the Dark Universe, it would probably be awful. But this isn't. This film stars Elisabeth Moss as Cecilia, and she is our main lead throughout the show. She's the one that leaves her abusive boyfriend, played by Oliver Jackson-Cohen, and both of them do really great jobs. Oliver Jackson-Cohen, he's not physically in it a lot, but when he is, he's great. Moss is by far giving the best performance here, though. She just seems so stressed and paranoid and terrified and angry all at the same time through almost the entirety of the film. And that's a hard energy to keep up, but she does it really well. She gives a great performance. After running away from her abusive boyfriend, she goes and lives with her friend played by Aldis Hodge, and he's 100% the comedic relief of the film, and he's fantastic in this. He's just so charming and charismatic and funny. Every time he was on screen, I knew that it was going to be a great scene because him and his daughter that also lives with them, they had really great father-daughter chemistry, and they really knew how to lift the spirits of a scene that was probably starting off really sad, but they had to lift the spirits of their friend, and so they lifted the spirits of the entire audience at the same time, and it was really great. Another thing I enjoyed was the way they updated the titular Invisible Man, because this is very much made for modern day audiences. They didn't just take the original plot and then plop it in modern day. They actually updated it. The way that they explain the invisibility kind of makes sense. It honestly seems a little plausible. We were talking about that after the film, that I could totally see what they do here. I could see them coming up with that, maybe even at some point in the near future. And that's horrifying. This film was actually written and directed by Leigh Whannell, who, next to James Wan, created the original Saw. He also starred in that. He's been in all of the Insidious films, and he also directed the film Upgrade, which was shockingly good when I saw it. It was way better than it should have been, or I ever thought it could be. So I already knew that this guy had really good vision. I don't mean that he has 20/20 vision. I mean that I knew he was a good director. You knew what I meant. But there are certain times in this film that it's the work of the camera that creates so much tension, because this is a very suspenseful film. I wouldn't call it a horror film, because it's really not. It's a suspense thriller. So the work of the camera really makes it suspenseful, because there will be times when the camera will pan over to where nothing is there. the screen is just empty. But then the person that it was originally focused on will walk into frame. So instead of the camera moving with the person walking, the camera moves ahead of them, almost as if it's following someone that isn't there because they're invisible. And one specific shot where he did this is very early on in the movie. So I feel like by doing that, just that one simple shot early on, it helped that for the rest of the movie, whenever there's like a shot of nothing, like just an empty room, we as the audience, we consciously know that we're just looking at an empty room, but we're also wondering, is there somebody standing there? Because there's no way to know. They don't do like fancy tricks to like show you like a hazy outline of where the Invisible Man is. There's just nothing. And because of that, there's so much suspense given just by looking at an empty room. And I think that was incredible. Not everything is great though. There are a couple of things that actually really bothered me about the film. One of which is that this movie sets up several times that security cameras do exist. They play a big part in several different sequences and several different plot points in the film. But yet there's so many times where something will happen and then everything will be just over. Everything will be seen. Kate Moss will be shown that she is sane. She's not going crazy. Somebody actually is invisible. If only there was a security camera there. There's a scene in a super crowded restaurant where something huge happens, but nobody sees it. Like, nobody is looking up at that exact moment, and there's no security cameras in this fancy-ass restaurant.
Bitch, please!
That may seem like a really small detail, and I know that you have to suspend your disbelief, especially for sci-fi-esque films like this, but that's such a huge oversight, especially when you reference security cameras at so many other points, that it really bothers me. Another thing is that there are a couple of twists in the film that, while they initially shocked me, after I gave it just the briefest second of thought, I was like, yeah, no shit. I don't even know why I was surprised by that. It's probably because I'm such a big dumb idiot. Oh, don't say that, Brandon. Oh, you don't think I'm stupid? What? No, you definitely are. I'm just the one that's supposed to tell you that. Oh. There's also the fact this really isn't a negative. It's just kind of something I had in my head through the entire film. Part of me wishes that they kept it more of a mystery as to whether or not this guy was actually invisible or whether or not Elizabeth Moss was crazy. I feel like that psychological twist on it would have been really cool and very fascinating. But they make it clear early on that is not the case. She's not crazy, and the Invisible Man is real. But like I said, it's not really a negative. It's just kind of something that I think could have been really cool, but maybe that's just me. But overall, guys, the Invisible Man was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, at all, which I guess now is a pattern with Leigh Whannell movies, first with Upgrade and now with this. It was really suspenseful. The performances were great. The camera work and directing was very impressive and very effective. There were just a couple of little things like plot holes like the security cameras and twists that in hindsight should have been very obvious. And so with all of that in mind, I'm going to say that the Invisible Man gets a B. So have you guys seen The Invisible Man yet? If you have, let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. Or what is your favorite adaptation of the original Universal monster lineup, or the classic creature features like this, like werewolf, Dracula, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that kind of stuff. If you're the one person that wants to say League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, go right ahead, I suppose. Check out my social media and my new channel, Woodward Performs, where I will be uploading behind-the-scenes vlog-style content of any plays or films that I may be working on. The links to all of that will be down in the description. But before you go there, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe so that I can see you guys next time.